Happy Wednesday, guys. Have you ever looked at a website? Maybe it's even your own, and you have thought, I know this should be bringing me businesses, or business in general, like clients, but I have no idea if this is actually working today. Well, I want to tell you first and foremost, you're not alone. And this session is going to be for you. We're going to talk a little bit about the background of one of our speakers here at Scale with Stability coming up next month. I cannot believe this is happening in like we're almost to a month. So yeah, super excited. If you're bought your ticket, pay attention because this might be the session that will be the most impactful for you during the event. And this will be like one of our breakout sessions. And if you haven't bought your ticket, well, this might be the session that makes you want to buy that ticket. Something I wanted to share, I feel like most business owners invest in a website, maybe even in SEO if they're like already out there, but they still don't know what to look for, what matters, or what's actually broken if they're not getting the most out of that. And that's exactly why we do Scale with Stability. This event is about helping business owners grow the right way, building companies that are strong, sustainable, and align with what matters the most, in my opinion, right? Faith, family, health, and peace. That's what every business owner wants. And today, I'm super excited because when you understand how your business actually works, you make better decisions. And that's why I'm so excited about having Nic Padilla with me. How are you doing, Nic?
Doing very well. How are you?
Doing good. Bringing all the energy on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, the best day.
We've been traveling. I know Nic is like mainly every day, like traveling, like going to events, and I'm super excited to have you there. Nic, you are going to be representing Boostability, and you have helped develop the website auditing approach that your team is using right now, I believe, which we're going to learn more about this in the session. But I'm really excited to learn more about what you guys are about. Maybe you can give me a little introduction of what Boostability is, what have you guys been doing in business, and give us the intro there.
Absolutely. Well, number one, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this. It's always great to speak with you, and of course, your lovely husband, we just got to work on his sense of humor a little bit. He's just got to be a little bit more fun. No, he's great. I love him. Boostability is an amazing company. I've worked for them now, as of this week, 14 years. We are in 17 countries, 9 different languages. Our goal is to help small business succeed online. That is literally our motto. We've got it in our building. We want to make it to where if somebody's searching for a service that you provide, we can help you be found. That's ultimately what we want to do. Now, in today's world, if it's 3 or 4 years ago, there's only one real place that you were searching. Now there's a lot of places that you're searching, and we want to make it to where you can be found on all of those. So Boostability, we started off as a DIY platform, but we realized business owners, they don't have time, right? Yeah. And if you don't have time and you just want an expert to do it, we can be that expert. We can help you get found online. That's what we've been doing.
I'm excited. And your session is going to be focused on something that I feel every business owner is like lost right now, unless you're in digital marketing, where this is your bread and butter. SEO in an age of AI. How are customers actually finding businesses today? I think it's the perfect topic to talk about. And I'm curious on your thoughts because you've been talking to business owners, also to other agencies. You guys are doing it all. You're really supporting in many different areas when it comes to SEO. I'm curious of what you have seen, as you're working obviously on providing fulfillment for SEO to businesses and supporting agencies. If somebody asked, ChatGPT or another AI tool today of like, what's the best company in my area and what you do, what determines whether a business actually gets recommended or not? I feel like that's the question of the sense. What is actually helping business owners show up in AI right now?
It all comes down to, and it's really the same formula that we utilized in traditional SEO with Google or a search engine, is organizing your website in a way for whatever LLM, whether or not that's ChatGPT, Gemini, or these other ones, in a way for them to understand it, then making sure that is then crawled or indexed for them to be able to supply that at the point of search, right? So there's a variety of things that you can do. You've got an FAQ. So if somebody's searching for, who's the best plumber in my area, you have that already answered on your website, why you're the best in that area, how long you've been servicing that area, and you have a specific schema tag with that FAQ, or you've done llm.txt and those types of things to help distribute or explain, guess what? This is where I'm the expert. This is where you got to find me. And that's how we've been able to help with that.
Now, boostability, you guys have, as you mentioned, like you're working with businesses all over the world in different languages, which is crazy to me how, we're just very localized and you guys have really grown the business. What is, from your experience, the most common reason small business owners, especially small to medium business owners, struggle to get found online? Like, what's the main problem that you see repeatedly after every of these audits that you're doing? And they're always doing this wrong.
It comes down to the fundamentals, no matter what. Everything comes down to how you're organizing that website. Are your titles, your descriptions, your H1s taken care of? Are we making sure that there's a variety of links pointing back to your customer's website? Are we doing things like schema or heading hierarchy? Are we adding copy regularly to the website? If you notice, we've been talking about that, and Karen, you've been in the SEO world. We've been talking about that forever. Like that is the key principles. And as soon as something new comes along, everybody freaks out in the SEO world. And you've got all of these experts pushing up their glasses saying, no, this is how you should do it. The fundamentals always stay the same. And if we have those fundamentals and we just add a little bit more to them, like specific types of schema tags, because we've been doing schema tags. I've been doing it since 2013. It is, you should always be doing it. The hard part is there's so many opinions that are out there that there's scare tactics of what are you doing in the age of AI, where really you just need to say, hey, calm down, sweetie. We got this. And then we'll take care of the fundamentals. That's it. It's just the fundamentals.
One of the things, or one of the many reasons why we love you, Nic, is because you're such a great communicator, but also you make this sound, so easy, so simple, which makes everybody trust you probably immediately. And like, yes, sign me up for SEO. I'm curious, what is your favorite ChatGPT AI tool? Like, is it ChatGPT, Gemini? Right now, there's everybody using a little bit of everything, but I'm curious to hear, what is your favorite one?
Non-work related, you get me on Gemini, and I'm generating some funny pictures of my friends and distributing them out. That is the first rule. I don't know. I started off on ChatGPT and making sure that every pitch that I ever did was uploaded into that, and then I would create all of my SOPs. I created all of my decks off of it. Now, with me running a team, I can audit every call that we do. The ones that are helping me out the most, even though the most annoying thing in the world, would probably be like Fathom Note Taker, just because it is just there, and then the integrations that I've got with it are great. I'm starting to delve into trying to learn about like vibe coding and those types of things, but I don't know. Fundamentally, the thing that's helping me the most, Fathom Note Taker, because every call, every pitch, every recording, and then I've got that integrated with the SOPs that I've got inside of ChatGPT.
I love it. I want to talk a little bit more about your 14 years inside of Boostability. I mean, that's first off insane. The fact that I feel like, especially in these days, like I'm sure you're hiring people. Like, what is the expectation of somebody, to last in a company? Like in the recent days, they're just getting started. 14 years, you have seen so much. Talk to us about, you mentioned obviously what Boostability does, but what is the role that you're playing inside of the business today?
Well, 14 years, right? 14 years is crazy. Grade school is 13 years. So 14 years just blows my mind. The amount of people and real friends that I've met by coming to this company is beautiful. We've got great leadership, a great opportunity to make sure that your voice can be known and heard, and you've got a great opportunity to help other people succeed online. One of my favorite things that I've seen is I've had the opportunity of selling in person in Perth, Australia, and just going and helping somebody understand that they need to organize their website for Google and others to understand it and get related websites pointing back to it in form of a backlink. And seeing those people reach out to me, 9 months later saying, Nic, thank you so much. This has changed our lives. That is what we are doing at Boostability and what I love seeing. The growth inside of Boostability is crazy because I started on the phones. I learned Spanish when I was 19, and we had a product at that time where we were helping Latino business owners have a website for $79 a month. We would build it, do everything. And I started on the phones there. And then I was like, you know what? We could help out and I was thinking financially for myself. What if on every call, I said something like, do you want fries with that? But the website or SEO version would be like, what if we wrote a blog for you? Or what if we were to add an individual service page? And by doing that, we were increasing business. And then they said, all right, Nick, we want you to run a team. Then they sent me to live in Australia. Then I was in charge of our European partners that we've got. It's been beautiful, and I honestly can say I've helped out small businesses around the world, which is beautiful. I love it.
I love that. I love that you're, like that strong focus on helping so many small businesses, improve that visibility. How did that started? What was the, because I know that right now you're obviously leading a lot of the conversations, with like even like growth, supporting through other agencies as well. What started that? Like who, talk to me a little bit about the founders, do you know that story? Like what was that focus?
Yeah. So a group of nerds came together, and of course, absolute nerds, but I love them to death. It started off in a basement. I wish it was a garage. Could you imagine if it was a garage? Right? How many good businesses like Mattel and Apple and
Exactly.
Microsoft? But it's a freaking basement. It's not that cool. Bunch of nerds got together and they said, "What if we created a product so that SEO became attainable for these small businesses and they can do SEO themselves?" Then they realized, crap, these small businesses don't want to do it. What if we work inside of it utilizing our process that we created? And then we gained some efficiencies and we loved it. And we said, there's plenty of agencies or companies that are trying to transform into the digital world at this time, 2009, 2010 time, that they don't have the capability of doing SEO at scale. So what if we were to white label that? Because of how efficient we'd become, that's how we started. And then we found these different agencies around the world that were trying to sell the product. Then we realized, oh no, some of these agencies should not be selling our product because they are setting the wrong expectations. You've got grumpy customers where like, you promised first page in a month. And it's like, ooh. So we created a sales support team. And then we realized, oh, they should not be the ones on the phone. These agencies don't understand, right? So we started reaching out on behalf of those agencies as well. And that's how we've been able to achieve the growth. We were doing white label before white label was a regular term.
That's crazy. Now going back into a lot of the, conversations that I'm having, every day with business owners today on AI and SEO, just because it's such a buzz, especially right now, right? It's just like, how do we simplify everything by leveraging AI everywhere? And it's gonna do it for us. I'm curious on your thoughts on how does AI search differ from traditional Google search results? Things that we have been doing, that search activity that we've been doing for years. How is that changing today?
It's changing in a lot of ways, right? We need to first understand you and I, Karen, we're different. We are not the average people. Number one, we've got beautiful smiles, so that's one. Number two, we search differently than the average consumer, no matter what. The average consumer is utilizing ChatGPT and these other things in a different way. They're asking questions. What is the best plumber to choose? How do I choose the correct plumber? Not what is the best plumber in my specific area. They still have created a level of trust with Google. So what people are doing primarily today is they're saying, all right, how do I choose all this person? How do I have this conversation? It's kind of like when you call your dad, right? Like, hey, dad, I need to change the blinker fluid again. What do I do? Right. And then your dad helps you with that advice. That's the role that ChatGPT and these other LLMs are doing. The decisions, though, of finding and identifying, majority of those decisions are still being made on Google. So we just need to understand that keywords and those types of things, there's still value there in Google. we need to continue that, but we need to make sure that we're found for a lot of those questions that people are searching for.
I'm curious today, as you're obviously trying to supply, the needs of like both beasts, like Google and AI now, right? Of like, so that way it's like, as you're searching, like you can get all of it. And Google business profiles, I'm sure, are a big component of this. But what signals help business owners become more trustworthy enough for Google to recommend, and then also to AI? What are some of the things that you're talking to business owners and saying, hey, this is stuff that you should have today, and if you don't have them, boostability is here?
Of course. There's this equation that we've always spoken to at Boostability. Relevance plus trust makes you the best answer, right? Relevance. What is relevance? Relevance is the way that we organize the website. Titles, descriptions, H1s, copy, blogs, H1, H2, H3, FAQ, schema. Those are all relevance, right? Which is valuable. It's huge. It's that business card. It's that website that is sexy, that allows you to be recognized and noticed. Now, trust. Trust is third-party websites pointing back to your website or to your Google business profile that are saying, not only are we sexy and trusted and relevant, we're also getting a variety of links pointing back to it. Industry relevant backlinks. One of the most important things that we can do today. In the past, we used to speak to, we said like content is king, right?
Mm-hmm.
A valuable backlink from an industry relevant website is almost more important than a beautiful blog. By combining that, an amazing NAP, and having all the consistency there with your Google business profile, Yelp, and those other ones, that is what will make it to where you're found anywhere, no matter what. We've been doing that for years, though. It really hasn't changed too much.
It's crazy, right? Because I think you're totally right. A lot of people like freak out, with like, oh, this is the new way of doing things, and now you're not going to get found, and your business is going to suffer, and all this stuff. And then they haven't really like gone even back to just start at the basic stuff, right? Like the things that they should be doing, like that's start there and then optimize for more. I am assuming that you're having also conversations with business owners that are thinking of like all this complexity that I need to do. What are there any things that you see companies spending their time or resources on for SEO that don't actually matter anymore? Has anything changed that you feel like, okay, like you're continuing to do this, but instead of doing that, focus on this? What are some of the things that you see those business owners spending?
Business owners, entrepreneurs are a rare beast.
Yes.
A majority of people that are business owners are entrepreneurs, right? Where it hasn't been just like handed to them majority of the time, especially here in the US. Once somebody identifies something that they really like, or like, I like doing this specific task on my website. Oh man, you should see my blogs, right? I think what it is they're just putting their chips into one pile and they're not distributing it in the correct way. I think just dedicating yourself to content only won't really help, because if that content isn't distributed, congratulations, you just put a billboard in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't mean too much. But if you distribute that content, or you put it in like a Google business profile post, or if you're saying, hey guys, on your TikTok, I just did this amazing post, tell me your thoughts. What are your thoughts with this or that? Even those types of things will help you out more so than just writing a blog.
Yeah. I know that for the event, you're bringing one of your teammates as well. So we're going to be having a fun time in that room. What are you, if somebody were to like say, okay, I definitely need to work on SEO. I need to like understand this. Nic is obviously going to show me the path. What do you foresee as they're going through the session with you and they're walking out of that room? What is your vision for them? Like, what do you want them to like feel like they accomplish or achieve, or, they're like leaving the room with like this one thing? What would that be?
Of course. I'm going to go back to a story. In the last 3 or 4 months, I've had so many contractors at my house, and I hate it and I love it because it just means that we're spending money, right? I'm not going to tell the story of what happened. If you want to talk to me later, there's a little bit of trauma behind it, but we had a plumbing issue. And we had to have somebody come to the house, and they had to scope the pipe. The pipe that connected our house to the main sewer line broke. They had to use that scope to understand what was broken and how we'd need to fix it and those types of things. That gave me a clear path to understand what we needed to do in order to get my house fixed and go through remediation and walls getting torn down and all of those fun things. Our goal when we go to this conference is to be able to say, we're going to teach you how to look at your website or somebody else's website and get a clear path and understanding of what you need to do in order to match your competition, which is huge. Organize your website for all of these different search places to understand what they're looking at. And you have a clear path moving forward of what you need to do. Whether or not you want to do that or having another marketing agency do it, you at least know what are the things that you need in order for you to progress. That is our goal.
I love it. I keep on having this interviews, and it's going to be such a hard decision for this business owners to like pick, a couple of sections, that they're going to be focusing on. But I truly believe that if this is an area, if you're watching this, and if this is an area of your business that, again, like just how we started, like you feel like I should be getting more. I focus on creating a website, but still not generating anything for me. This is probably the best time to get on working on it, to get some clarity, get that scope and vision, of where you need to go. And this could be the one session inside of all the things that we're going to be doing, because events are a lot, it can be overwhelming a little bit, but in all the activities that we're going to be doing, all the conversations that you're going to be having, focusing on how to grow your business in this digital world. And it's the fact is not going to change in terms of like, it's not going to stop growing, digitally. It's going to continue to do that. Yes, there's so many strategies that you can implement in your business today to grow it, but this is definitely one that is super important. I guys, like, I don't know how to like tell you this, but just make sure that you pick one of the sessions and make sure that SEO is something that you're looking on. Nic, you go to so many events, as we were talking earlier. You're traveling all over the place. We met through an event, literally like we were attending an event, and you're such a great networker and communicator and a human being in general. So I just love having you anywhere we go as a friend, and now as one of our speakers. I'm curious because obviously one of the things that we talk about a lot with attendees is, where should I spend my time, right? Is attending an event the right place where I should like be spending my time instead of like working in my business? I think right now, even as we're making decisions on the year of like, where do we invest our time? Like, this is one of the things, like attending events is like, oh, should I do it? If somebody's like hesitant of coming to the event, what would you say to them to maybe attend, maybe not even our own event, but just attending events in general as a business owner in order to invest in your growth? What would you say to them?
I've always thought of, and I remember my dad saying, I had some good friends and some bad friends growing up, or not bad friends, just not good influences, right? If you play in the dirt, you get dirty. If you're around good people, you raise up, right? A lot of these times when you're going to an event, you're around people who are looking for progress. You're around people who are like-minded. You're around people who are looking for more. You're around people who might be looking for help, and you're the answer. If you're not going to these events, often you're only thinking about, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And there's been plenty of times where I've learned more about myself by going to events and learning different things on whether or not it's a speaker talking about confidence, how to pitch, or it's a new product, a new way to fulfill things. Boostability's pulled things from events of like, oh, we should be doing that. And we do it, right? So my answer will always be, if you're not going and finding a way to educate yourselves and progress with your company, your individual business, or your agency, how are you going to find that way to progress? I have the luxury of attending 23 events. I did that last year. And you know what? I can honestly say I try and pull at least one or two nuggets from each event. Scale with Stability, I love it. The reason why I like that is you guys are getting a taste right now of the level of speakers and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Not a lot of events will show that. Not a lot of events will be able to say, hey, we'll do this or that. Not a lot of events you'll be able to speak with the person running the event. I've seen Karen and I've seen JC go and speak with people and genuinely care about them. Whether or not you're a small agency, a small business, whatever it may be, they will always give that to you. And it's honest love and care. That's the vibe that I've been getting from you guys all day long.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Honestly, like I'm so like impressed always with how not only you like share with people, your like time, and you're very abundant, in spending time with people, but you truly care as well. I think that's why we have like now so many friends in common, which I
Yeah.
love. Anytime that I talk to somebody who's like, do you know Nic? Of course I know Nic. I cannot wait to have you there, Nic. I know that session's going to be impactful in many ways for your business, for your personal growth, and you're going to come out of this session knowing somebody that is there to help you along the way. And this is just the beginning, right? Like this event are really just a spark that, it's going to really help your business in 2026. So if you're thinking about coming to the event, make sure to get your ticket. Go to scaletostability.com/summit. We're going to see you there April 22nd to the 24th, and we cannot wait to see you very soon. Thank you guys. Thank you, Nic. I appreciate you.